Hi, 72 Daystar here, out on a walk-in vlog again. I had a rather ironic experience one time. I was in a room of non-believers where I was the believer and they were the non-believer. I was espousing the belief in something that was non-material, that was vaguely or poorly defined, and these people just were just incredulous. They thought I was rather silly for believing in such a thing. I thought it was kind of an ironic situation for myself, but I suggested that there was evidence that is poorly defined and abstract as the idea that I was suggesting. I still thought that there was good evidence that such a thing existed. So they challenged me, and I said, well, I believe that love exists because it's predictive. So if I say that Susie loves Johnny, and then we can make predictions about, well, if they've been apart for a while and they meet, how will they act? If there's some conflict of, if they have conflicting interests, how will they act towards one another in order to resolve that, or will they want to resolve that? We can make predictions about how they're bound to behave. Unlike other beliefs, if you have no way of verifying that something exists, but you can still make predictions, and I can still say that it would be rational to believe that such and such a thing exists. However, where you can't make solid predictions, where we have theists who believe that a God exists and they vaguely define that God, but then they can't make any real solid predictions. I mean, if you have a loving, infinitely powerful God, what sort of world would you suggest? That there'd be a world where one country would be bombing another and killing innocent people? Would you predict a world where things like the Holocaust or the Belgian Congo, which never got enough press, would take place? I doubt that. I know there are all sorts of apologetics to explain away why those things don't mesh with an omnibenevolent and all-powerful God, but it's still, you come up with zero. Because it fails that predictive test, you've kind of come up with a zero again. So, I don't know, this is just sort of a thought that came to my mind, that there's an interesting comparison between the existence of love and the existence of God, or there was an interesting contrast there. They're comparable in a couple of ways, but there's an interesting contrast too, is that there is some predictive validity to the concept of love. Closing thoughts. Do you believe in love? Do you think the evidence for love is stronger than the evidence for God? If you have thoughts on that, comment below. Or if you think you have solid evidence for the existence of God, you could comment below. All right, 72 Daystar. Nice sunset. 72 Daystar out.